And we're back. And I got to tell you, I'm going to have a chance to talk with someone I've wanted to talk to for quite a while. Never have had an opportunity to sit down with this gentleman. His name is Chad Oliverson. Chad, good to have you, lad.
It's good to be here.
Now, you're with the Arts Alliance of Tulsa.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. With all that's going on, why should I think the arts are important?
You know, that's actually a really valid question. When you look at what's happening in our community today, why do arts matter? I mean, we're worried about, curing a virus. We're worried about keeping people fed. We're worried about our job industry. There are so many what seem to be tangible, right at the tip of our tongue needs, right? Well, I would put arts in that for a number of reasons, and I wouldn't be the only one to do that. You have to look at arts as an industry within itself, okay? We're gonna look at this from a couple different angles here. One is strictly financial. While we help support 43 organizations, that's just a chunk of what's in Tulsa. You put all of those together plus others within our region, and we're talking about a almost $22 million in tax revenue back to our city industry. It's over 8,000 jobs, which could be more than American Airlines. So arts are an industry. Let's look at it that way, number one. Number two are the needs, the human needs that we have with the arts that aren't getting met. And that is reaching out to underserved schools, underserved youth. It deals with mental illnesses, PTSD. There are so many programs that really aren't publicized, don't get the recognition that they deserve. But that's the other side of it. And plus, everything that's kind of keeping us sane right now has to do with some form of entertainment. So why the arts? Because we are not a full community without the arts. We will not survive without the arts because they are a generator.
That's one of the finest answers I've ever heard, especially the last part. You're not limited to just, and I don't mean any slight against the musicians, but you're not limited to musicians. You cover all the arts bases, don't you?
Absolutely. Again, 43 organizations, which range from your visual arts of Philbrook, Tack Gallery. We have Tulsa Glassblowing, Latimer Cooksey, which is a school. So we cover visual, we cover performing arts, we cover educational aspects, really all of it, because that is part of the tapestry that makes Tulsa an arts city.
One of the interesting things about this state is as soon as I moved here, back in the late 70s and early 80s, I discovered, you're in the land of the Mercedes with a gun rack. Things are very, very different here than they are in other places. The football is a state flower, for example. But that, having said that, there are also very young men and women out there, young boys and girls, if you will, who all they want is a chance to try, either with a canvas or a slate or a musical instrument. And I encountered one who at 10 had the most amazing ability, self-taught, I might add, on the keyboard, and fortunately worked through a program at Boston Avenue Methodist Church. And this young man is already being watched by major colleges across the country, although now's not a good time for him to, to up and go.
Yeah.
But he's incredible. And who knows how many youngsters like that are out there, not just in music, but in theater, in art, in dance, in all forms of the arts. And that's what you guys are in the business of doing, is supporting it.
That is one of the finest stories that I've heard in a long time, because you did sum up so much of what is happening that isn't seen. There are so many youth. I was one of them, that actually fell into theater, and it paid my way through university, and I've been working in it my entire adult life. I'm making good living at the arts and still acting. So yes, that's a huge component of what we're supporting is the youth and their health, and giving them the opportunity to expand, a safe place. Not everybody fits into what we want to fit them into, you know? Not everybody is going to be a doctor or wants to be, or a football player. The creative arts are the biggest growing component of our future in our country right now. And that's not just me saying that. That's a huge component. So if we can grow that sector and we can play a part in that, we're doing great for our city to make it a global city.
Does the Alliance really involve itself in fundraising? I mean, is that a major part?
That is what we do. You know, our main focus, our mission is to raise money for the 40 plus organizations that we do. That's what we do every day, 5 to 7 days a week. On the other side of that, we also help promote as much as we can, get the word out about what they're doing. But yes, fundraising is imperative. And why that matters so much right now, more than ever, is we did it in the beginning to help groups grow, to help them maybe fill a niche, expand a little, thrive a little bit more. Now it's about surviving, right? So we're having to raise money in one of the toughest times ever to give out money in increments instead of one chunk at the end of the year as relief.
Sure.
As simple, keeping the lights on, because we're unrestricted granting, and that's imperative right now. And it comes down to the community, my friend. We do get some national money. You do see that. You see the PPP. You see all of that. And they are taking advantage and working for all of that. But it is not enough to sustain the amount of arts that we have and keep them thriving for our city.
About 3 weeks into this virus situation, I'm kind of like Doofus Bear. I wake up in a new world every day.
So do I.
But it hit me that, and I have a large number of musician friends out there. My buds and my singing buds are getting hit by this. There are no jobs. The jobs dried up overnight. And some of them have managed to come up with innovative ways to apply their talent, if you will, to grow. But for the most part, boy, you're hard pressed to find live music anywhere right now. Yep. So, talk about slam dunk. These guys and gals are out there beating the bushes looking for work.
It's true. And that's mainly because performing arts, whatever that is, music, dance, theater, that's a shared experience. That's something where people come together, and that's why it works, right? It's also a revenue source. Online, you don't really have, you can get entertainment. We can listen to stars sing, but there's no revenue source there. And also, you don't have that shared experience. It's always two-dimensional. It's not the three-dimensional experience.
And also, one more thing about the musicians, you can't sit together anymore.
Right.
You can't play a clarinet with a mask on. These folks are getting hit hard.
Anyway. I'm so glad you actually said that, because, I know that visual arts have a stronger chance of doing this phased in opening that we're looking at, as people can come in maybe groups of 10, they can keep social distancing. It doesn't mean they're going to be thriving. It doesn't mean they're going to have enough money to survive, but they can start reopening. Performing arts, bands, musicians, they can't. They can't, because if you can open a theater at 25%, it's too expensive to do a show, put on a symphony, do a ballet, if you can only sell 25% of tickets.
Exactly.
And how do you rehearse your musicians with social distancing? Does Romeo kiss Juliet with a mask on?
Might have changed the entire play.
maybe there's a whole COVID version of that will come up from this, but
What was it? Many years ago, when I was a music major in college, and many years ago, I recall there was a play put together where one of the classics was performed in a football locker room.
Yeah.
And I thought, wow, now that's a new approach. Never
Yeah.
heard of that before. Uh, the arts are, like many things in this world, they are attempting to adapt, as we all are. Are they going to make it? Will they survive?
Of course, they're going to survive. I mean, we have survived as humanity. The arts have been around since the beginning of time, right? I mean, from paintings on a cave wall,
Sure.
it has survived. It has
Or
times, it's thrived, and there are times where, if we just look back, let's just look back to our recent history, and let's go to the Great Recession. Let's go also to 9/11, and it's obviously different, but we saw a cut in funding, individual donors as well as, federal and stuff, so that they took a hit. Some of them still never recovered with all of their job positions from the Great Recession, but they were still doing pretty good. The difference with this is we can't get together, and we discussed that, so I don't have to go into that again. We can't gather.
Yeah.
So yes, we are seeing some adapting to online ways of connecting. It might not be until we have a vaccine or we have a full grasp of what this virus is, because it continues to evolve, it seems,
Exactly.
till we can truly thrive again. But it will survive. Arts will not go away, but it is our duty to keep them stable until we can gather again.
Chad, we're out of time. When this is all settled and we can see it in our rearview mirror, you and I need to break bread together, friend.
I would love that.
Thank you so much for taking time.
It was my pleasure. Thank you.
We're all out of time on this end, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being a part of it. And for now, with a nod to the past, be safe and good luck.